Sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you expecting to come out?
That would be a hot story.
Who's going to present that evidence? I don't know, Candace. Maybe you. Maybe you could. You've what? Sorry about the thumbnail, guys. No, I am not wrong about Candace. That's just a little test to see if the trolls that come into my comments actually watch my videos or not. However, there are some people who are getting some things wrong about Candace Owens. And I want to go over that. I want to do for Candace what she just can't seem to do for anybody else that maybe misspeaks or maybe gets something wrong. And that's allow grace. She just automatically goes to they're lying. Now, Candace could be lying, but I'm going to assume that she's not. And I think it's actually quite simple how she got confused about the Discord messages being text messages or vice versa. And we're going to go over that. We're also going to go over Ben Shapiro coming out and basically making the claim that Candace has implicated Erika Kirk in what happened to her husband, Charlie Kirk. Now, I went through pretty much every video Candace has done, skimmed through them all to try to find anything that might be her implicating Erika Kirk. And we're going to go over that. Let's go ahead and get this started. First thing is going to be the CNN interview, the little snippet.
First and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious.
And your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
But do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, typing it out back and forth?
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that, or law enforcement?
I have leaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson has.
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
I do have a problem with this because she asked Candace, do you have proof of this? And Candace replies with, I have leaks. I have sources. Okay, cool. Then she goes on to say to Candace, that would be a really big story. And Candace is like, no, I don't think it would be. She's like, yeah, no, if we had evidence that the FBI fabricated these text messages, I feel like that would be a pretty big story. Yeah, I would say that would be a huge story, especially for somebody like CNN. Why do I say that? Oh, I don't know. Because it continues to help pull away from the left-wing radical violence narrative. CNN would absolutely love to have that information. Any of these left-wing media outlets would. Furthermore, why is Candace on CNN? I think CNN saw this as basically a win-win opportunity for them, right? They get Candace on, and maybe Candace shows some receipts that help pull away from the official narrative of left-wing radical violence. Or the other scenario is that they basically make Candace look stupid, which doesn't really help the right at all, does it? Has she gone on any other media outlets besides CNN to promote this book? It's just, I find it a little strange that Candace Owens is on CNN. Did nobody else offer her to come on and promote her book?
Sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you expecting to come out?
That would be a hot story.
No, it wouldn't be.
Who's going to present that evidence? I don't know, Candace. Maybe you could. You've what? If you don't want to give it to the mainstream media, why don't you present the evidence? I'm pretty sure you're getting more views right now than any mainstream media outlet. Who's going to present it? Are you guys picking up on that? Who's going to present that evidence? That's her defense. You, Candace, give it to Ian Carroll. Give it to somebody and let them present it. She doesn't have any, obviously.
It would be.
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI like if I had a source telling me, like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
It's a pretty big story.
So Governor Cox came out and told us that there were messages about the rifle drop point. Okay. Discord says not the same thing. Let's listen to Governor Cox say that on this social media app, Discord, they were discussing the rifle drop point.
Okay, I want you guys to really, I don't know if you've seen this or not from Governor Cox, but I want you to really listen to what he says, okay? Which is my defense for Candace here, is because you have to really listen to what he says to notice when he separates Discord messages from text messages.
Listen.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device.
Between the phone contact Tyler with an emoji icon. So he went from talking about Discord messages, an image of Discord messages, and then moved right into these images also include messages between the phone contact Tyler. So Governor Cox, who talks out of his ass and can't put together a logical sentence, completely screwed that up. So I am absolutely defending Candace Owens right here for mistaking what this moron just said and confusing text messages with Discord messages, because he was not clear at all. You have to listen to that to be able to separate those two.
Content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel.
Now, I'm curious as to who wrote that for him. Did he write that himself? Did somebody else write that for him? Whoever it was, yeah.
What do I have for you guys today? Okay, well, first and foremost, the indictment against Tyler Robinson was just released, and I have a lot of questions that I think need to be answered. On September 10th, 2025, oh wait, they're not telling us the time. I don't like that. I hope that's just you forgot, but I need to know exactly when you're saying these messages were sent, okay? Because I need to fit them into my timeline.
You guys ready?
Okay. Clearly, on the basis of what I'm about to read, these messages had to have gone out after Charlie Kirk was shot. If I'm using my context clues, my Blues clues to put things together, but they're not clear here. They just say on September 10th, 2025, no time given. The roommate received a text message. I actually did not read that they were text messages. Received a text message. The roommate.
Now, I'm going to offer Candace some more grace here. And maybe she was just too focused on throwing in her witty little remark about Blues Clues that she wasn't actually paying attention to what she was reading, that she wasn't actually comprehending what it was that she was reading in the indictment. So maybe she just wasn't focused.
Received a text message from Robinson which said, quote, "Drop what you are doing and look under my keyboard." The roommate, Lance, then looks under his keyboard and he finds a note that states, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." The structure of that is weird. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Okay. That's just structurally, that's not proper English. Okay. It's either
She caught that. The potential grammar error there. She nitpicked the hell out of that, but she doesn't remember reading the words text messages multiple times in that document.
I have, okay, or I had,
Maybe.
past tense. Again, not clear. Police found a photograph of this note, and the following text exchange then took place. The following text exchange then took place. I actually did not read that they were text messages. Yeah, these messages are clearly doctored.
Now, I'm not saying Candace is lying, guys, okay? You guys can think that. I'm going to give Candace grace. And I'm going to assume that she's just mistaken, that she just wasn't really paying attention to what she was reading. And then she goes on to make the claim that these were doctored with no evidence, which Candace likes to do a lot. She loves to just make claims and then say she has a source or say she has evidence, but then never talks about it again, never shows any evidence at all. But I'm not going to say that she's lying, guys. I'm just going to say in this instance with these text messages and this whole Discord thing that she just made an oopsies and she misspoke, or she just has maybe struggles with reading comprehension. I don't know. But I'm not going to say she's lying. You guys can run with whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you guys what to think. I'm just giving you my opinion.
Is what I would say. They're doctored. Now, they could decide why they're doing that. Tyler's being forthcoming. We're protecting him in some capacity. I find that to be unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable. I want every single text message. I want every single text message. I actually did not read that they were text messages. I want every single text message. I want timestamps. It is conspicuous
I don't know,
that you are
guys.
not telling us when this was sent. I need timestamps. If you're going to be transparent, be transparent. I'm not saying that you're being dishonest, that you have these text messages. I am saying that I need them in my timeline.
In our nation's history.
Closure. He says closure. We got him. They already start in that he starts talking about the messages. He starts filling in the blanks. He said he had it. He put it in a towel. We have messages. It's all over. We found it on Discord. Discord is going to say that's not true.
So she watched the video again the next day. This is September 17th. The video we just watched of her was the previous day, September 16th. She watched it again, and she still didn't catch that part. I don't blame her. Don't blame her at all. The way Governor Cox said it is confusing and stupid. However, Candace is the only one that I know of that had ran with them being Discord messages for that long. Everybody else that I noticed, which is a lot of people because I pay attention to the other side of this a lot, they just referenced them as text messages, especially considering that's what the charging documents say, is that they're text messages, not Discord messages, that they're text messages. In fact, the charging documents, which were published on September 16th, that's when they were filed, that's when they were made public, don't even mention any of the Discord messages at all. And that doesn't surprise me because my assumption is at that point, the prosecution team probably hadn't been able to verify that those Discord messages were legit or not. And I think that would be something that they would want to do first before they throw them into the charging documents. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't have them presented at trial. I'm assuming by now they've probably verified those Discord messages and that will be part of evidence. But at that time, it's very possible that they just had not been able to verify those yet. But the text messages are pretty easy to verify. But she brings it up again and she refers to them as Discord messages the next day, even though the day prior, she just read in the charging documents that they were text messages. But then says that she didn't read that they were text messages when she did the CNN interview many days later. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe Candace is just really confused. Maybe she's just got a lot on her mind. She's got so much crappy information that she's making sure she's going through and just throwing it out to the public. Maybe she's just, you know what I mean? It's understandable. However, I would have a criticism that if you have that large of an audience and you're really interested in finding the truth about your friend, I would think that you might want to be a little bit more careful with the information that you give out. Maybe you would want to reread some things, double check some things, maybe look into it a little further before you just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. I feel like that would be the most responsible way to do this.
So who made up these messages? When were these messages made up?
I don't know,
question.
Candace.
Discord saying they don't exist.
Tyler Robinson, maybe?
This signals to me that these messages were just created, right? And I'm further feeling that way because there's no timestamps.
Probably by Tyler Robinson.
Again, I want to be proven wrong. Okay, but I don't like this at all.
I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
All right, now we're going to get into the Ben Shapiro stuff about Candace Owens implying that Charlie's wife, Erika, is somehow involved.
But what
Because
like
it is
I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not, but my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? But I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you
because
comment
I
on
don't-
these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
That Ben brings up a really good point. If somebody on the left were running with these wild conspiracies and it originated from the left, you're going to tell me that Megyn Kelly wouldn't be talking about it? That every right-wing person wouldn't be talking about it? But because it's Candace, Megyn Kelly is, I'm not the mother of the internet. Really? You're not going to look at that? You haven't seen any of it, Megyn. None? You're not on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. You haven't seen anything, really?
Is that what Candace is accusing Erika of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch
No,
Candace's
I
show.
believe you. I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that when
what I
that
understood
friendship
Candace
should
to
not,
have
in
been
our
doing.
business, I think it's important. Listen,
No, and Candace and I
friendship
are
should
not
not
friends.
trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay, so I don't totally disagree, but I think the way of handling that, at least for me, is much different.
Erika Kirk, man, she really is just the moment. The speech that she gave, everybody was just wowed by her. I felt my energy personally, like last night going into that, I was effectively like soaring in the air above the convention center, like a dragon above, waiting for Erika to just be like, fire. And I was just going to come down and swoop in out of nowhere. All the politicians, all the fake people, everyone was just going to be in that moment toast. But she didn't call for war. Erika did not call for war. In fact, she did the exact opposite, which is what was so stunning. It was unbelievable. The forgiveness that she granted, the strength that it took for her to call for that forgiveness, it's just unmatched, and it really made a difference. And I was being serious when I tweeted that I think it was the most consequential speech in American history, a message that everyone needed to hear, including myself, a message of complete submission to Christ.
Candace said some pretty nice things about Erika Kirk there. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Nothing wrong with what Candace said there at all. This one I want you to listen to because there's a word in here that I was talking about earlier that pops up in this video. And this is from September 25th.
You also want to address people who are inundating me speaking about Erika Kirk. And I think the reason why this was catalyzed was because of a fundraising email and text messages went out and people found it to be distasteful and like fundraising off of his death. Okay, first and foremost, the reason why I said, and I meant it genuinely, was to pray for Erika a couple of days ago. And I said she is stepping into a role as CEO and the chairman of a company that got bigger than Charlie, by everything that I am understanding and just having been there, I saw it happening, and a company that she's going to have to learn in 4 seconds how this whole thing's work. It is a machine, okay? Those emails that you saw or that was not written by Erika Kirk. That will be an entire department, and these are emails when you fundraise. I've had fundraising emails go out.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys got any of those text messages when that was going on. I did. But she is coming to the defense of Erika Kirk here.
With my face and my name on them. They are not authored by Erika Kirk. And I want you guys to know that, right? I just think it's like, I don't know, it just feels so unfair to me to assign the amount of pressure that is on her right now. She has not come out and said anything to me that makes her suspicious, because I understand how that organ works. And I understand how people, when they are motivated by money, how they don't even think about these things. It can be so gross. I mean, I have really gotten into arguments with people when I felt that they were using my face and representing things, and I was getting pushback from the public. And I'm like, I would have never done this. I would have never made that decision. And yet I'm going to be the person that gets all the flack for the decision that you made. I've had those arguments. And so when I see this go out, irrespective of how you feel, you should know that those decisions are not made by Erika. That's what it means to step into a company of that size and that scale, okay? Their focus is going to be something different. And she has had, I think, a tremendous amount of grace in the speech that she gave, which I felt was very inspiring. And we should similarly have grace, give her time to get her, first and foremost,
September 25th. Now, I don't know. Do people just use the word grace like just nonchalantly all the time? Is that common? I can't remember the last time that I used the word grace that was like outside of a church setting up until this video. But the reason I used it in this video is because the word comes up a few times. Might just be a coincidence, just something I noticed, which I thought was just interesting. But on September 25th, CANDACE Owens is asking her audience for grace for Erika Kirk. Just found that interesting.
The adjustment in her life. She's a mother, first and foremost.
Asking
right?
for grace
This is what
for
she was
Erika
doing.
Kirk.
She was a mom, and Charlie was on the road, and these were Charlie's concerns. You know, men carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they were following that. This was a faithful couple. This is a woman who consulted a priest and prayed when she felt that somebody had put a hex on her husband. And I just think everyone is being a little unfair by trying to assign so much ill will towards someone who hasn't done anything to warrant that. And I would have been the first person. If I felt that anything was there, I would have said something. Truly, in every capacity. And of course, I'm not in their marriage, but I know that Charlie was very happy with Erika. And I know that Erika was a reason. She was, pushing Charlie, as women do, to really think through his ideas and think through what it was that he believed in one way or the other. And by and large, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I had this relationship that I had with Charlie, that I had with Erika, of course, because neither he or I were married when we were hitting the road together. But she made him happy. And I just want you guys to know that. And so when you're putting stuff out there, just imagine that you're in her shoes. Imagine the size and the scale of that company. And imagine that on top of everything, you've got people that are digging into every layer of your life and not necessarily getting everything right. I can't stop reading conspiracies about me and my husband. I've read that my husband is Jewish. I've read that my husband is a Freemason. I read that our marriage is fake and staged. And I've read that I'm funded by Russia. I'm funded by Qatar. I'm funded by Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate is also from the UK. And my husband knew him before he met me, which means absolutely nothing. I mean, it never stops. And to be thrown into fame.
Found that kind of interesting. Candace is talking about conspiracies against her while she's participating in helping create and spread conspiracies about TPUSA. You would think somebody who's been the victim of having false information and misinformation and conspiracies spread about them, that they might be cautious about doing that same thing to others, right? Wouldn't you think that?
I think is very difficult when you're not pursuing it yourself, and to be thrown in such a horrific way, it just can't be fun. So I'm just reminding us all to just have a little bit of grace.
A little bit of grace.
Okay, so I want to address this. So many people have been writing into us, sending us emails, people that are paying in super chats, asking me to address Erika Kirk. And I guess my question back would be, what is there for me to address? She hasn't sat down for a long interview. All we have seen from Erika has been the speech at the memorial event for Charlie Kirk. I see the innuendo that is online. I am interested in investigating who killed Charlie Kirk. And the people that I have been reserving my ire for, my smoke for, my investigation for are the people that are blatantly lying. Okay, people that are just lying about Charlie Kirk. That was my reason for going after Alex Clark. She lied about the Catholic thing. That was my reason for going after Andrew Colvett, Mikey McCoy. Anybody that's told a lie, Rob McCoy, blood all over him, you got my attention.
Are they lying, Candace, or is it possible that they're just under a lot of pressure because they see all of the craziness online and they just misspoke? Is that possible? Don't you think you might afford a little grace, Candace? Sort of like how you made the argument that Discord said there were no messages, so therefore the FBI fabricated the messages, and then you made the claim that you didn't read that they were text messages, even though you're literally on video reading that they were text messages. Is it possible that you just misunderstood Governor Cox and that you made a mistake, that you weren't lying, that you're not intentionally lying about Discord messages? This is a really bad frame. I'm sorry, guys. I did not mean to do that. Is it possible that Rob McCoy, when he's talking about blood all over his clothes, that he misspoke, that he's not referring to Mikey, that he's referring to Charlie while he's talking and kind of just going off the cuff? Is it possible that maybe when Mikey called him, that he misunderstood what Mikey was saying and thought Mikey was saying that he had blood on him when maybe Mikey was just talking about Charlie? Are these things possible, Candace? Can you afford enough grace that perhaps he just misspoke or that he was mistaken? Can you afford grace to Mikey McCoy because he didn't react how you think he should have reacted in a very traumatic situation? That within that split second, his reaction was not what you would have thought or considered to be normal in a very abnormal situation? Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath, guys.
That is the mother of Charlie Kirk's children. I had a real relationship with Charlie Kirk, a real friendship with Charlie Kirk, and what is left of him in this world are his two small children. So to just take a baseless attack, if I catch her in a lie, it's a little different, but to just take an attack on her does not feel appropriate to me. I haven't seen any reason to do that. But keeping with Erika.
So far, Candace has not implicated Erika in any way. In fact, she's gone the exact opposite, and she has defended Erika. Up until right this moment, Ben Shapiro either lying or mistaken. Let's keep going.
Erika's interview, she was asked directly, and this is probably the most viral moment from the sit down, about how she personally feels about the conspiracy theories that are circulating regarding his murder. And here is her answer.
We're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate that. But just some grace would be nice.
Did you hear that, Candace? Erika is asking for some grace. I'm pretty sure earlier on in that interview, she was pleading for grace for the people that were there that day. For the TPUSA people that were there that day. But I'm sure a lot of the other people there as well. But the ones closest to him there that day, she was asking for grace.
So I think it's a gracious answer, and I think it's a gracious request to, assert first and foremost that people are doing this because they care and they care about Charlie. And also this was a traumatic event that the entire world experienced. And also the reason why the internet is investigating is because the feds aren't. And not only are they not investigating, they're telling some pretty obvious lies, right? Number one being that he was shot by a 30-06 and stopped the bullet, when in a normal circumstance, it would have decapitated him. Like a 30-06 will decapitate someone.
I don't think we have to go over this, right, guys? We don't have to cover the 30-06 thing. Is that the only lie you could think of, Candace? What other lies have the authorities told us about this case that we can prove that they're lying, that we have evidence for that they're lying? Yeah, there isn't any. There is not one thing that they have told us that we can go, oh, that is definitely a lie, and here is the proof of that. There just isn't.
And because they've been so ridiculous and then gaslighting us by being like, you're dishonoring Charlie's legacy, people are digging their feet in the ground because it's just disrupts us spiritually to watch something like that and then be told like nothing to see here. Now, here's what I will say about her request.
So this is basically Candace just telling Erika, I am not affording any of them grace.
Okay, everybody, we're going to keep going. And, you know, Mikey's going to take over for Charlie at his Liberty event that he has, which is going to be sold out. And Turning Point USA people who are directors of faith, they're going to be telling you, like, Mikey's got what it takes. Here's what, blah, blah, blah. And then Mikey's going to tell stories about that day, go on his show multiple times. Andrew's going to talk about it. Everyone's going to talk about it. And they don't want to talk about the stuff that we care about. So if there were Turning Point individuals who were so traumatized that day and they needed to go away, I mean, I had to go away for 2 weeks to collect my thoughts about the trauma that I saw having watched it. And a lot of people I know that had to take breaks. I had to take the show off the air for a couple of days. And they just, you know, needed time to process. It'd be a little bit different. Actually, it's almost came across like they needed zero time to process. And they were kind of annoyed that the world needed time to process.
Do we have any idea what Candace's relationship was like with these TPUSA people? I'm starting to get like this, I don't know if it's like a protective mother vibe or what, but it's sort of like nobody can replace Charlie. And I definitely don't like the ones that I think they're trying to replace him with. So I'm going to attack. That's the vibe I've been getting these last few weeks with Candace and TPUSA. Is that she's trying to assert some type of authority. Basically, like, whoever is coming into TPUSA, if I don't like them, if I don't approve of them, I will do everything in my power to prevent it from happening. And we actually have Candace saying that exact thing.
To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you.
For the most part, okay? Candace has not, she definitely hasn't directly implicated Erika Kirk in any way. I am coming to Candace's defense. And you guys know I'm probably one of the biggest Candace critics out there on the Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm not even sure if there's many other people like making videos and calling Candace on some of this shit or not. As far as I know, I think I'm the only one, but I think there's definitely other people who are, you know, have their opinions about Candace and share them, but I don't know anybody that's making direct videos about Candace, but I am defending Candace on this. There was nothing, and there is nothing I can find that Candace has implicated Erika directly. There is one video, and we're going to watch it right now, where you could maybe make the argument that she's implicating Erika here, but it's not a direct implication. Okay, she does not say, I suspect Erika Kirk because of fill in the blank. In my opinion, if you were to make a claim that what you're about to watch is Candace Owens implicating Erika Kirk, you would be making that claim in bad faith.
Think thoughts. You recognize that something is very wrong with the story that has been presented to the public.
On October 6th, 2025, episode 248, okay? Erika Kirk has now, she previous to this, she is CEO of Turning Point USA, which is an executive position. It's kind of the executive position, okay? Just keep that in mind.
And I think that what the public doesn't understand, and I count myself among the public, is why it seems as though Turning Point USA executives, and I'll say seems, are not even remotely interested in challenging that official narrative.
They're not interested in challenging it publicly, at least. In fact, I think it was an ex-user that pointed out, he put it rather bluntly when he said, so they want us to forgive Tyler Robinson, but to attack the people that are trying to solve the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I could be wrong, but I don't recall anybody from a TPUSA executive other than Erika Kirk who said anything about forgiving Tyler Robinson. I could be wrong. And remember, this is October 6th. As far as I know, Erika Kirk is the only one that said anything about forgiveness for Tyler Robinson, at least like super publicly. I'm not saying she's the only one. It's just the only one that I can think of that I recall. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But she talks about Turning Point USA executives seems to her that they're not interested in looking for answers and that they want forgiveness for Tyler. I'm not sure who all the TPUSA people that wanted forgiveness for Tyler is, other than Erika, like I said, but that they're not forgiving the people who were looking for truth and asking questions, AKA spreading false information and conspiracy theories. Did CANDACE Owens ever implicate Erika Kirk in being in any way, shape, or form responsible to what happened to Charlie? No. I think with what's going on, it's very important that when they make mistakes, that we call them out, that we show that what they're spreading is false. Okay? At the same time, when people who disagree with Candace start spreading things or start trying to twist things to make them look like something they're not, I think you have to treat it the exact same way. You have to be fair on both sides. Or at least I do. I feel like I need to. I think everybody should, but having that expectation would just obviously it's not going to happen. But for me, I'm going to be as objective as I possibly can be. I got to call it how I see it. I think Candace made a mistake on the Discord thing with the CNN interview. I think that's an honest little slip up on her part. Makes me question how much other stuff she's really paying attention to, which can't be much with some of the stuff she's saying, right? And she did not implicate Erika Kirk and has actually defended Erika Kirk on multiple occasions against her viewers, who absolutely not only implied that Erika is, but just flat out have said and made claims all over X, all over her chat, that Erika is responsible, that she's sus.